Well, welcome back to the association. I'm Roz Goldenwood alongside our analyst Trevor Lane. What a night. What a night. Ugh, a game seven where two terrific teams went head to head in a battle. Nothing but respect for the OKC Thunder and nothing but congratulations to the San Antonio Spurs who head to the NBA Finals for the first time since 2014. It's been 12 years and they're going to take on the New York Knicks. So, Trevor, let's look at that matchup. These Knicks, by the way, have been waiting and watching who's going to come out and play them. They've
Mhm.
swept two series in a row. I mean, how much do you feel like rest and fatigue may play a factor in this series?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, Roz, you know what this means? This means we get to
What?
party like it's 1999. That's the last time these two teams faced off in the finals. Maybe we can skip the Y2K stuff this year, but this is a great matchup. I do think fatigue is going to matter. You look at this Knicks team, and they've played back-to-back opponents already that were coming off of 7-game series, and it was a factor when they took out the 76ers and took out the Cavs. So is there going to be a fatigue factor here with the San Antonio Spurs? And then is there going to be a rust factor for a Knicks team that's going to have a long layoff before they're going to start the NBA Finals? But I can't wait for this series. The Knicks are arguably playing the best basketball of the playoffs right now. They've won, I believe it's now 10 straight. They've won. Their offense is clicking on another level, and the San Antonio defense, you have to imagine, is going to be up to the task. I think we've got a great series on our hands. I can't wait to see which direction this one goes. The ins and outs, the chess match. This is going to be a phenomenal series. And I think New York is ready for it. San Antonio is ready for it. I am beyond ready for it. Let's go. We just had a great game seven. Bring me more NBA basketball. I'm so fired up.
Absolutely. These two teams split in the regular season 1-1. Trevor, when you're looking at these two teams, the Spurs and the Knicks, what are the things that excite you about this matchup?
I'm really curious to see how does Jalen Brunson do against the defense that the Spurs can offer. They're certainly going to do everything they can to try to slow him down, but he's also shown that no matter what defense you throw at him, he can find ways to overcome it. So I'm curious to see what those active guard defenders, Steph Castle, De'Aaron Fox, the young Dylan Harper getting into the mix, among others, what can Jalen Brunson do against them? What's the battle going to look like between Karl Anthony Towns and Victor Wembanyama? Certainly you expect Wemby to win that battle, but can Cat at least come close? Can he come anywhere close to the production in terms of rebounding and points of Wemby? What's that ultimately going to look like in the paint? What about Mitch Robinson playing with perhaps a broken finger? Is he going to be able to get out there and be the absolute dominant presence on the boards for New York? I'm really excited to see that matchup in the paint as well. So I think there's a lot of really intricate things going on here. And then for the Spurs, it's all about, can you run things through Wemby as you've been throughout the season and then have players alongside of him really step up? These young guys continue to step up in the big moments, and can they, like they did tonight, win in the margins? How much do they have left in the tank after going 7 games against OKC, dethroning the defending champs? They're going to have to dig deep if they're going to go take down a very talented Knicks side.
Absolutely. There's so many storylines. There's so much star power. It's Brunson. It's
Mhm.
Wembanyama. You mentioned Karl Anthony Towns, who has been terrific in this Knicks run. Even on the coaching side, it's an interesting battle of two really strong coaches. One is a longtime NBA, steward of the game in Mike Brown. And then you've got Mitch Johnson on the other side, young, up and coming, much like his team. For me, I tend to go for the headlines, the drama of it all. Look, it's there's been always that question of who is the face of the league. There's no bigger stage in the NBA Finals, and Victor Wembanyama has a chance to establish himself as the future of this league, and that it is his time. There's no bigger stage, in my opinion, than, of course, I'm from New York, than Madison Square Garden. I do think stars are made there, and I think it's going to be cinema. I think the fans in New York are going to be so intense and excited, so fun to see them in the streets. And I'm sure the fans in San Antonio, maybe they'll hit that, what's that waterway they have there, the Riverwalk or something?
The Riverwalk,
It's
yeah.
going to be the Riverwalk. Look, each city has their own type of fandom, but This is everything any basketball fan could have asked for. We've got a great NBA Finals. Game 1 is Wednesday, June 3rd at 8:30 p.m. on ABC. For right now, we just want to thank you for rocking with us all night. We took it through Game 7, pregame and postgame on the association. We had all the breakdown analysis and interviews. Trevor, it has been a pleasure. And
Roz,
to all
thank you
of
so much.
Absolutely. And all of you at home watching, thank you so much for rocking with us. I'm Roz Goldenwoode, and that'll do it for the association. We'll catch you next time. What is up, everyone? Welcome to the association. We just watched Game 7 as a family, and the Spurs are going back to the NBA Finals for the first time in 12 years since 2014. They are the newly crowned Western Conference Finals champions. The Spurs defeat the defending champion Thunder 111-103 on the road. I'm Roz Goldenwoode. I'll be your host for the night. I'm joined with NBA analyst Trevor Lane of the Front Office Show podcast. Trevor, how's that game got you feeling?
Roz, I'm feeling great. That was everything that we could have asked for. We were begging the basketball gods to please give us a Game 7 in this series, and not only did they deliver with a Game 7, but that was a classic. What a phenomenal game. And look, I'm going to be smiling for days because we got to see such an amazing game.
I said heading into it, the two most exciting words in sports, Game 7, and this one delivered. I mean, we were calling it from the kind of beginning parts of the season, heading into coming out of the NBA Cup as well. This is a budding rivalry. And now we see the Spurs and the Thunder see each other for the 12th time this season, and it went down to just an epic battle throughout. So the Spurs are going to play the Knicks in the NBA Finals, defeating the OKC Thunder, and a new NBA champion will be named. Trevor, what impressed you most about the effort of the Spurs?
You know, we said it going into the game that the San Antonio Spurs had to come into this game and play with force, and they did exactly that. They were the aggressor in this game. I thought the depth, ironically, it was the depth of the Spurs that really won them the day. Historically, we've seen the depth of the Thunder that's really carried things for them, but it was the Spurs' depth. It was their ability to play with a lot of force throughout this game, and just the fact that they looked, despite being such a young team here, they looked completely at ease. They looked like the moment was not too big. The lights were not too bright. They looked like everything that was happening was what they expected to happen. And that I have to give them so much credit for that, because it's so difficult for a team this young to step up onto that stage, especially with players that are young, like Dylan Harper, who had a really big game off the bench. We saw Julian Champagnie have some big buckets as well. He lit it up in the third quarter, leading the team with 11 points. And that was as much as the focus is going to be on Victor Wembanyama, as it should be. This was a whole team effort from San Antonio, where the lights were never too bright for any of them. An absolutely phenomenal performance, and one for Spurs fans to be very proud of.
Yes, for the Spurs, 7 players scored in double figures, including the entire starting 5. And then on the podium, after when they were, celebrating winning the Western Conference Finals championship, Coach Mitch Johnson's being interviewed, and he said, they don't give a damn about the word experience. And so not only do you have to give props to the players, but also props to the coaching staff and Mitch Johnson and his ability to prepare this team for a stage and lights this bright. What can you say about the job of Mitch Johnson here in year 2, stepping in after Popovich?
Oh, he's done a phenomenal job. I mean, you can see it in the steadiness of the club. You can see it in every player knowing exactly what their roles are on the team, knowing exactly what's expected of them. And more than that, but the trust that you can tell that they have in each other. They know that the guy next to them is going to make the big play. The guy next to them has got their back. And there's a big element of team building that gets wrapped up into that. And in culture that we're seeing Mitch Johnson not bring, but continue for a San Antonio Spurs organization that has had now for decades. So he has done an incredible job with this team, deserves all of the flowers that he's going to be getting coming out of this series, to go into OKC in a Game 7 and knock out the defending champs that's considered one of the best teams that we've seen in years. Just an absolutely phenomenal job. And it speaks volumes to what level of coach they've got there in San Antonio.
Yeah, and one thing that stands out to me is immediately after the game, the amount of emotion pouring out of these guys, and especially from Wemby. I mean, when you see that level of intensity and emotional vulnerability from this team, what does that make you feel watching this young Spurs team? Because oftentimes, to even know why you feel it that personally, sometimes pain has to be a great teacher. Sometimes it has to come from falling short before, but this Spurs team is taking it like right there, and you can see the emotion pouring out them as they take each step forward.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal point, Roz. You know, there's this idea in the NBA and in sports in general that in order for a team to ultimately reach the peak of the mountain, you have to experience setbacks along the way. You've got to experience that pain. You've got to feel that. That's going to drive you moving forward. And this Spurs team, again, there's a wisdom beyond their years. They did not take this moment for granted. There was no moment in their minds that you could see where they thought, you know what, we're just happy to be here. No, there was none of that. They were determined, this is our time. We're not waiting till next year because it's sports. You never know if next year is going to come. They did not take it for granted. They made sure that this was the year that they were going to go out there and get it done and get all the way to the NBA Finals. And they may get there for many years to come. This is a very good team that's going to be around for a long time, but they were ready for the moment and they did not take it for granted.